Welcome back to the Technology Risk Podcast. We often see rapid business growth celebrated, and, rightly so. It's what everyone aims for. But today, we're looking at something maybe less obvious. How that very success can sometimes hide some pretty significant technology risks simmering just below the surface.
It's a fascinating paradox, isn't it? The faster you're moving, the harder it can be to really stop and look at the systems actually, powering that growth.
Exactly.
And that's where we often see these underlying IT issues kind of gradually get worse, almost invisible, really, during those boom times.
Right. So our goal today is to sort of pull back the curtain on these hidden vulnerabilities and, more importantly, explore some practical ways to manage your tech so it actually fuels sustainable growth.
Instead of becoming like a ticking time bomb.
Precisely. And just to give a sense of scale here, think about this. Research we looked at indicates a pretty big majority of rapidly growing small and medium businesses, something like 62%, they don't even realize they have major IT weaknesses until they're smacked right in the face with a crisis.
Which, when you think about it, makes a lot of sense. I mean, you're laser focused on scaling up, right? Getting customers, grabbing market share, the actual nuts and bolts of your IT infrastructure. They can easily fade into the background until, bam, they suddenly demand all your attention in a really disruptive way.
Okay, so let's get specific then. What kinds of hidden IT risks really tend to get masked when a business is expanding quickly?
Well, one of the most common ones we see is definitely outdated hardware and servers. As a company scales, the demands on its basic infrastructure just grow exponentially.
Right.
Think of it like constantly adding more and more weight to an old shelf. Eventually, something's got to give. It's going to buckle.
And the fallout from that kind of failure? It could be huge. Our sources flagged a really stark example. An online retailer, their old servers just couldn't handle the load during peak holiday sales.
Oof, bad timing.
Terrible timing. The result,
Yeah.
$250,000 in lost revenue.
And maybe worse, that damage to customer trust, People couldn't buy things. Exactly. And it's not some rare edge case either. Industry data suggests a big chunk of businesses, maybe around 70% if they're relying on servers older than 5 years. They experience significant downtime every single year. That's a massive gamble for any growing company.
Okay, so hardware is one piece. What's another area that's ripe for these hidden risks?
Risky or outdated software, that's another big one. When you're in that hyper-growth mode, diligently applying software updates, security patches, it can honestly feel like a distraction from the main goal.
Yeah, like something you'll get to later.
Right. But ignoring this stuff, it leaves you incredibly exposed. It's almost like leaving the security system off in your rapidly expanding operation while you focus on building new rooms.
That's a good analogy.
And reports show that a really large proportion of cyber breaches hitting smaller businesses, we're talking nearly 60%, they exploit known vulnerabilities. Stuff in outdated or unpatched software. That's just a massive, avoidable attack surface.
Wow. The notes detailed a really tough example of this. A financial services firm. They put off some critical software updates.
Risky in finance.
Very. And they got hit with a $120,000 ransomware attack. That's a direct, painful financial hit. And like you said, in finance, the potential reputation damage is just enormous.
Absolutely. And it's not even just about the external threats, is it? Outdated software can also just grind things down internally. Inefficiencies, compatibility headaches. It just drags on productivity when your team's wrestling with old tools.
Okay, so hardware, software. What else is lurking?
Then there's the challenge, often overlooked, of unmanaged and fragmented networks. As businesses grow, especially if it's sort of organic, they might just tack on network bits and pieces as needed.
Ad hoc, yeah.
Exactly, without a clear overarching plan. And what you end up with is this tangled mess, a web of operational weaknesses, security holes.
Like trying to manage the plumbing in a house that's had 5 extensions built without any blueprints.
That's a perfect way to put it. Eventually, you're going to get leaks, outages, and just figuring out what's wrong becomes incredibly difficult. We saw an example of a growing healthcare company just plagued by network outages again and again.
Which, in healthcare, is critical.
Hugely. It disrupted patient care, sure, but it also just eroded trust in their basic reliability.
And the data seems to back this up too, right? About half of rapidly growing organizations admit their network infrastructure is, let's say, disorganized or poorly managed.
Yeah, disorganized is probably putting it mildly sometimes.
Okay. So we've identified some of these hidden risks, but why? Why does success actually make it harder to see them? What's going on there?
Well, a big factor is simply complacency. Complacency born from that very success. When the business is booming, orders are flying in, there's just this natural tendency to assume everything's fundamentally okay, including the tech underneath.
You might dismiss little glitches,
Yeah.
right? Or warning signs, just brush them off as growing pains.
Exactly. It's that classic, if it ain't broke, don't fix it mindset. But the problem is, it might be slowly breaking down without any really obvious signs.
And research backs this up too. It suggests that over half of SMBs admit they prioritize immediate revenue,
Yeah.
closing the next deal, over the long-term health of their technology.
Which is understandable, but it's definitely a gamble with potentially serious future consequences. The focus is naturally on what's directly fueling growth. And IT, unfortunately, can get tagged as just a cost center, something to minimize.
Which leads straight into the next point, right? These operational blind spots. The sheer pace, the demands of rapid growth, they just divert attention and resources away from those foundational IT things that maybe don't seem urgent right now.
Totally. You're so swamped dealing with the immediate pressures, hiring people, training them, meeting the surging demand.
Putting out fires.
Putting out fires, exactly. Those crucial underlying IT weaknesses, they can just go completely unnoticed until, boom, they erupt as a major crisis.
And reports indicate something pretty worrying here. Nearly half of SMB execs actually admit they don't know about significant tech weaknesses within their own companies. That's quite a blind spot.
It really is. And this often ties directly into the third factor, budget and priority misalignment. During those fast growth periods, it's really tempting to postpone investing in necessary tech upgrades, often because of, perceived financial constraints.
The thinking is, we'll deal with that later once things settle down or once we have more cash flow.
Right. But that delay often ends up being way more expensive in the long run. Data shows a big majority of SMB leaders, like 65%, say they've delayed critical tech upgrades, specifically because of these perceived financial limits during growth spurts.
It's that classic short-term thinking, isn't it? Potentially leading to really significant long-term pain.
Absolutely. So, okay, we get the risks. We understand why they often fly under the radar. Let's shift now and look at the actual real-world consequences. What happens when businesses do neglect these hidden IT issues?
Well, one of the most immediate and, frankly, tangible consequences is operational disruption. Plain and simple. If your old server finally gives up the ghost or your messy network goes down,
Yeah.
it directly stops you from doing business. It interrupts revenue, tanks your customer service quality.
We've got an example here of a logistics company. Their outdated software system crashed right during their absolute busiest season.
Oh, no.
Yeah, resulted in a huge financial loss, $75,000 they estimated in just a single day. That's a very direct, very painful hit to the bottom line.
Wow. And beyond just the immediate cash loss, there's the huge issue of long-term reputational damage, right?
Yeah.
In today's world, customers just expect reliability. They expect security.
They absolutely do. And repeated tech failures, whether it's website outages, data issues, it can seriously erode the trust people place in your business. It makes you look unstable, maybe insecure.
The notes mention a regional retailer that faced exactly this. Lots of customer complaints, loyalty dropping off, all because of recurring network outages. And why? Outdated infrastructure they hadn't addressed.
And rebuilding that lost trust. That can be a really slow, really difficult climb back.
Definitely. And then finally, we can't forget the potential for financial and regulatory penalties. This is a big one depending on your industry.
Oh, yeah.
If you're dealing with sensitive data, customer info, patient records, financial data outdated or poorly managed tech can lead straight to compliance violations, data breaches.
Which can bring down some serious fines and legal trouble.
Exactly. There's an example of a healthcare provider. They get hit with $100,000 in fines after a patient data leak. And the root cause, insecure, old, legacy software.
It's a stark reminder, isn't it? Ignoring these underlying IT risks isn't just about keeping the lights on operationally. You can have really severe legal and financial consequences, too.
Okay, so the picture's pretty clear on the risks and the potential fallout. Let's pivot now. Let's talk solutions. How can growing businesses actually build their IT systems so they support sustainable scaling, even when things are expanding like crazy? What are the key steps?
All right, let's get practical. The absolute first crucial step is to conduct regular, comprehensive IT assessments. You just have to. Proactively audit, evaluate the health, the security of your servers, networks, software.
Like a routine health checkup, but for your business tech.
Exactly like that.
Hi.
And the data strongly backs this up. companies that consistently do these IT audits, they experience significantly fewer critical outages. We're talking potentially 65% fewer in some studies. That proactive checkup clearly pays off.
Okay, assessment first. What's step 2?
Step 2 is really about adopting inherently scalable technology. This often means looking seriously at cloud-based solutions or maybe hybrid models, things that can flex with your business demands.
So you can easily scale up when needed or even down without huge infrastructure overhauls.
Precisely. And again, the evidence is compelling. Studies show a large majority, maybe 75%, of rapidly growing SMBs that use cloud infrastructure. They report better operational resilience, fewer disruptions. That built-in agility of the cloud is a real game changer during growth.
Makes sense. So assess regularly. Adopt scalable tech. What's next?
Building on that, the third essential step is to invest proactively in upgrades. You have to resist that temptation to defer necessary updates, replace aging equipment,
Kick that can down the road.
stop kicking the can. You need to establish dedicated budgets, plan for regular tech refreshes and improvements. It will save you significant cost and disruption later on. It's an investment, not just an expense.
We saw that great example of the accounting firm, right? They proactively upgraded their IT before tax season
Yeah.
and experienced zero downtime during that absolute peak period. That's huge for reliability, obviously, but also think about the client satisfaction boost.
Totally. Okay, fourthly, it's vital to implement continuous monitoring and management. You can't just set it and forget it. Deploy tools that give you real-time visibility. Set up alert systems that flag potential risks or performance issues early.
Before they blow up into major problems.
Yeah, exactly. Early detection is key, and the impact here is significant too. Data suggests something like 80% of businesses using continuous monitoring are able to catch and fix IT vulnerabilities before they cause serious trouble.
That's a huge number. Okay, monitoring. What's the fifth step?
The fifth critical piece is more cultural, really. It's about cultivating a strong technology-aware culture right across the organization, from the top down.
So not just the IT department's job.
Definitely not. You need to educate employees, leadership too, on why IT health matters, basic security practices, and importantly, how to spot and report potential tech risks they might encounter.
And there are tangible benefits to this too, right?
Absolutely. Research shows that businesses with strong internal tech awareness programs actually reduce their IT-related security incidents by a significant margin, maybe around 45%. Empowering your whole team to be vigilant is a really powerful defense layer.
Okay, those 5 steps make a lot of sense. Maybe we can make this even clearer by looking at contrasting stories like a proactive success versus a reactive failure.
Yeah, let's do that. It really drives the point home. So first, the success story. Think about a financial advisory firm. They knew they were heading into a period of major growth. And they made a conscious choice, before that growth really hit, to proactively replace their old, aging legacy systems with something modern and scalable.
Smart move. And the outcome.
Pretty much exactly what they hoped for. They scaled smoothly, no major operational hiccups. It didn't just maintain client trust, it actually enhanced it because they seemed so stable and prepared. And they saw a noticeable bump in customer retention, around 20% higher.
Wow. So the key takeaway there is pretty clear, that strategic, proactive investment directly supports sustainable growth and builds confidence.
Absolutely. Now let's flip the coin. The contrasting example. An e-commerce company, also growing fast. But they chose to postpone essential server and software updates. Why? Mainly concerns about the immediate cost.
Uh-oh, I think I know where this is going.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that decision led directly to a series of major system outages, right during their peak sales times. The consequences were severe. Big revenue losses, yes, but also unwanted attention from regulatory bodies, and a definite drop in customer loyalty. People went elsewhere.
So the lesson there.
The critical takeaway is that those perceived short-term savings you get from delaying necessary tech investments, they almost always pale in comparison to the long-term financial hit and the reputational damage that can follow when things go wrong.
It really highlights the difference in mindset, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so as businesses are navigating all this, trying to grow without falling into these traps, what are some overarching principles? How do they really future-proof their tech?
Well, a fundamental principle, I think, is to regularly revisit and adapt your IT roadmap. It shouldn't be some static document you create once and file away.
Right. It needs to be alive.
Exactly. It needs to be a living plan that evolves right alongside your business goals, your growth trajectory, the changing market.
That makes total sense. Agility is key.
It really is. And embracing flexible and modular technology solutions is also crucial for that agility. Think about implementing systems that allow for easier scaling, easier integration down the road.
So modular infrastructure components maybe, or adaptable cloud services,
Yeah.
things you can adjust more easily.
Precisely. Things that can readily accommodate your changing needs without requiring a complete rip and replace every time.
And finally, it sounds like it's just a continuous commitment, isn't it? And that's not a one-time fix.
That's exactly right. You have to prioritize ongoing training and education for everyone. Keep your team informed about new threats, new best practices, how to use the systems effectively and securely. A knowledgeable team is probably one of your best defenses in maintaining a resilient tech environment.
Okay. So to kind of wrap things up, we've really explored how this exciting phase of rapid growth, while definitely a positive sign, can inadvertently mask some really critical underlying IT vulnerabilities.
Vulnerabilities that can pose pretty significant threats to long-term stability and success if they're ignored.
But, and this is the important part, the good news is that by taking a proactive, strategic approach to managing technology, doing those regular assessments, embracing scalable solutions, fostering that tech-aware culture we talked about.
Businesses absolutely can build a robust foundation, one that supports growth in a sustained way and a secure way.
And it's crucial to remember, isn't it, that the health of your IT infrastructure isn't just some technical back office concern. It's fundamental. It's a core pillar supporting your long-term business success.
Absolutely. Consistent investment, proactive monitoring. These aren't just costs to be minimized. They are essential investments. They pay dividends in resilience, in efficiency, and critically, in customer trust.
So our call to action for you listening today is pretty straightforward. Take a really honest, critical look at your current technology systems. Assess their health. Where are the weak spots? Prioritize any necessary upgrades or improvements now.
Yeah, don't wait for a crisis to force your hand. That's usually the most expensive time to fix things.
Definitely. Don't let the buzz of current success blind you to those potential future technology risks. Proactive management today really is the best defense against tomorrow's disruptions. Thank you so much for joining us for this discussion on the Technology Risk Podcast.
Thank you for tuning in. And please subscribe to the Technology Risk Podcast on Spotify or Apple Music. That way you won't miss our future discussions on these critical tech risk topics.
Yes, please do subscribe on Spotify or Apple Music. We look forward to having you with us next time.